This week we shall be dealing with a topic that we've titled, The Spirit of Jael. Maybe you're asking me, Pastor, who is Jael? Jael is a woman that featured in the book of Judges as a heroic woman who killed Sisera. Sisera was a great captain who led the army of King Jabin. And he had 900 chariots. He was an army that was a great army that was to defeat the nation of Israel, because Israel could not be compared to this army. But guess what? Deborah, who was a judge, had prophesied that they're going to have victory, but the captain of the Israelites was afraid to go. So Deborah said that this victory is going to be brought through a woman. So Jael is the one who steps in and brings this victory. What is the spirit of this woman? Let us look deep and see what the woman did. Number one, the spirit of Jael is the spirit of breaking traditions. There are good traditions, there are bad traditions. It was forbidden in those days for anyone to bid a man to come into her tent if you're a woman. It was forbidden. The only way you could do it is if it is your husband. But in verse 18 of Judges chapter 4, we see Jael compelling Sisera, who had run from the battlefield and he was running away from Barak. He was being defeated. She compelled him and told him, please enter in, please come. And you know what? By persuading her, the man was convinced, and he came in. And when he came in later on, you will see the woman killed this man. She was able to achieve that because she had the courage to break a tradition. For you to do great things and for you to amount into a great person, you have to have the courage to break some tradition. The woman with the issue of blood did the same thing. The Bible says clearly that there were crowds that were thronging on Jesus. All of them were coming. But the woman decided to press through, which was against the tradition. If you were sick, like the way she had the issue of blood, she was not even supposed to come near any man, not even the city. But the woman decided, I'm going to do it, to touch the hem of the garment. And she did it and got her healing. The woman with the alabaster jar did the same thing, brought the jar, poured it on Jesus, and wiped Jesus' feet with her hair. She broke some tradition because they were not expecting such a prostitute to come. She was not supposed to come before the Pharisees like that, but she broke tradition and came. Paul himself, who did more than other apostles, also breaks some tradition. He connects with the Gentiles, begin to eat with them and bring the word to them and pray to them. He did it. He broke some tradition. Peter was sleeping one day and God wakes him and tells him, eat. And the man says, I have sinned, but I cannot eat what is unclean. But God is telling him, no, what I've cleansed is clean, because Peter stuck into traditions. And God is telling him, leave some tradition, leave some tradition. Jesus with the disciples also does the same thing. The disciples are there and the people are asking, how comes your disciples are not fasting? He's saying they will fast when I've gone. It's a tradition you've kept and the Pharisees have kept. They don't need to do it now. He's teaching them to break some tradition. What am I saying? For you to be great, there are some traditions you have to break. Rosa Parks decided, I'm going to break the tradition. And even though it had been said, any man that is black, if you are seated and the train is full, you have to relinquish your seat for a white person. She said, no, I have paid fare like everyone else. I'm not going to stand. And from that, a movement began. I came to encourage you today. There are some traditions you need to break. There's a spirit of Jael that you need to possess. For you to move forward, we need to break some tradition. Even in this country, for us to move forward, we have to break some tradition. Wherever you are, don't stick to traditions that are not taking us anywhere. You have to break it for you to see the goodness of the Lord. I came to encourage you today. Break that tradition for you to surge forward. God bless you. Move with the spirit of Jael.